Welcome to the EFT Tapping Podcast. It is great to have you here with us. My name is Lorna Hollinger and I am your host. So today what we are going to talk about is how to introduce EFT tapping as a basic technique in your daily practice. Now we know self-care is at the top of the list of everybody should be doing it, and we all know the reasons why. It circumvents levels of mental health. It keeps us calm and relaxed. It stops all the stress levels. But incorporating something new into your life isn't always necessarily as easy as it sounds. We are all very busy. We are all very time poor. We are all juggling so many more things than we ever did in years gone by. And I think back to my mum's life and my mum's day when I was young. I know it just seemed they went to work, they came home, they cooked dinner, they watched TV. My brother did sport. He went out and played soccer. I think I did some physical culture. We didn't go out and do a whole lot of stuff, and we didn't go out very often. There certainly wasn't anything that resembled mobile phones or devices. There was one TV in the house. It had a remote, and if it wasn't your turn to watch anything, you weren't getting access to the remote. Particularly as me being the youngest of the family, was pretty low down the pecking order for having the TV remote. So we know that it would be great to put pause on life. None of us like the pause that happened over the last couple of years in life, but being able to slow down, being able to make choices that we get to think about and getting to do things that really light us up. I don't know about you, but I managed to really delete a whole bunch of stuff out of my calendar that I realized was just busyness. It wasn't serving me. It wasn't supporting me. It wasn't doing anything of bringing value to me. Probably was to other people, but not to me. And the shutdown of the world gave me that opportunity to be able to just hit pause. So that's where I guess I want to take you on this journey today, is when we do get the opportunity to hit pause, and the fact that we should take the opportunity daily to hit pause, what are you going to do with that time? How are you going to make it the most effective for clearing away what's going on for you? Because as I said, we have a lot of stress, we have a lot of anxiety, we have a lot of shoulds, should do this, should do that, didn't get this done, beat myself up. Most of us have a task list far longer today than we're actually going to go and get through. We're not going to get through all of those tasks that we want to, but we seem to write these really big lists. We overestimate what we can do in a day and a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 5 years or 10 years because they're longer term. There's more time to lead up to them. But we have these big task lists today, things we should get done. When we don't meet our objectives, we get all beat up on ourselves. I want to give you the tools and techniques to help you to stop doing that to yourself. So when it comes to EFT tapping, now for those of you who are not sure about the tapping points, head across to our website. There is lots of information at australiantappinginstitute.com.au. You'll see graphics of the tapping points. What I want to take you into, though, is how do you apply it? It's great to see the tapping points. It's great to see a picture, but how do I actually apply it to my life? What do I do with it? One of the things that I want to share with you is EFT tapping was never created as a practitioner tool. I am a master practitioner of EFT. I have done lots of trainings. I work with clients all over the world on many, many, many issues, lots and lots of deep stuff. But it was created as a self-help tool. It was created and developed so you and I would use it on a personal daily basis, not always having to go to a practitioner or to someone else who is going to help us to be able to resolve the stuff that we've got going on. So there are many, many benefits for you of introducing tapping as a bit of a foundational practice for you every day. Every time we have an event or a thought or a memory or something bothersome that upsets us, it's quite often quite common to get what I refer to as a buzz, a bzz in my energy circuitry, particularly if imagine a car honks, you're outside and a car horn honks, it tends to give us a little bit of a bzz in our energy circuitry. I know most people feel a something. When they continually happen day in, day out, constantly, that puts us in a chronic state of stress response. It puts us in a very chronic state of hyper-awareness. What I want you to take you through and teach you how to do with tapping is, when those thoughts come up and those memories come up during the day, if you spend a couple of minutes tapping on your body while you're thinking that thought, you can help to neutralize the actual response from that's happening in your body. Now, tapping is so easy to learn. You do not need anything special. You do not need any particular tools. What you need to be able to do is feel into the sensations in your own body. Many people are not attuned to their own body, as particularly in Western society, we think we're ever so clever with our mobile phones, etc. But we are so disconnected from our physical bodies and what the body can actually tell you. It's an amazing diagnostic tool. It will tell you everything that doesn't feel right, everything that's not normal. Your body will tell you. You just need to tune into it. So all you need to be able to do is tune into your body and feel a sensation, and then be able to sit and go, what's the emotion in behind that? What's the emotion that's part of this sensation? You might need to close your eyes. You might need to just feel into it for a second, but generally you will get an emotion that pops up in your head that's attached to the sensation in your body. Now, at other times, you might know exactly what the emotion is that you're feeling. You might be angry, peeved off, annoyed, upset, hurt. You may know, you may completely feel rejected. You may know exactly what the emotion is. But what I also want you to do is remember, feel into it where it is in your body, because those two together are your powerhouse. The feeling it in your body while you recognize what the emotion is, it's your own early warning system. It's your body's wisdom. It's your body giving you indicators that you don't feel okay with what's going on for you right now. Now, remember, the human brain isn't able to differentiate between a thought that's scary or a memory that triggers us that's scary and confronting, and something that's happening in real life. Our brains interpret them pretty much at the same. So what we want to be able to do is take the intensity out of those thoughts. The more of your thoughts, your memories, your events, your stuff from the past that you can let go, release, move on, shift out of your body as a sensation, the calmer, more relaxed, and more fulfilled your life will be. So that's what I want for you. That's what I want to be able to take you through. So when we're doing our tapping, what you can do, there's a number of different ways that you can set up your time to do tapping. Now, obviously, the first one is probably the simplest one that we want people to do, and it is those ad hoc times. You're in the boss's office, or the boss has called you in, and you're feeling a bit triggered because you're about to be called in, and you can feel your heart racing, or do you feel your chest tighten, or do you feel your throat gummed up? What do you feel? What is the emotion? Say if you are feeling fear. Oh God, I'm so scared to go into his office. Oh, I don't know what this is. My whole body's reacting. You could just sit there and tap really simply. I'm not going to help you go through the points. Imagine putting your hand on your collarbone or your upper chest, your flat hand on your upper chest, and you're just going to tap there. Now, the reason I get people to do it this way is it's so easy. It's kind of inconspicuous. It can look like you're tapping to music, and it doesn't draw a lot of attention to yourself. So if you just put your hand up, and I said up in your upper chest area, and just tap. So yeah, you've been called into the boss's office. Just feel your body and breathe and just tap. Just thinking about the fact that he's called you in. Breathe and tap. Breathe and tap. Now, in the moment when that's happening, that's probably a really simplistic way to get yourself out of any sort of fear response before you walk into that office. Because what we know of is when the brain is activated, when we have these thoughts, memories that are worrisome, scary, bad thoughts, negative stuff from our past comes up, it starts to affect our actual logical thinking, the frontal precortex stuff, the stuff that does the rational thinking, that stuff when you're in a chronic state of stress actually starts to shut down, and you don't want that. You want to be able to stay conscious and present. So if you have the thought, I'm going into the boss's office, and just tap for a minute or two on your chest, feel the calming in your body, feel the relaxation start to come. If it doesn't come straight away, just spend an extra minute or two and just focus on the emotion that's coming up. Why are you a little bit worried about going into his office? What is it about that it reminds you of? What is it about in your past that may be? And it may be all the way back to you, your dad shouted at you when you came home from work, or you handed stuff in school and the teacher said it wasn't good enough and you got in trouble. In the moment, you're probably not going to be able to deal with that exact issue because you've just been called into the boss's office. So imagine making a little note on it, a little post-it note on your desk to remind yourself this afternoon to go and deal with that. Deal with the emotion. As I said, what was it? What did it remind you of? Go back there. So that's one of the first ways, is to do it in the ad hoc time. If something's triggered you in the moment, you're going to do your tapping. You may decide that you want to put in a set time in your diary. I do this quite frequently. I'll have 10, 15 minutes in my diary that I have set aside to go and work on something. Say, for instance, your boss has called you in, you've got a reaction to that. You're going to go and work on that. Put in your calendar, 6 o'clock tonight, 8:30 tonight, before I go to bed, whatever it is, and actually set aside the time to remember to come back to this thing so you can clear it on a deeper level. Now, if you come back to it later on and the emotion is, I don't know, I'm just going to guess, it might have been rejection. My dad shouted at me when I was 6 and I feel really rejected, or I handed in work to my dad and I got in trouble. I might have given work to another boss and I got in trouble. It's going to bring up some sort of fear. Actually talk yourself through what the event was and what happened while you're tapping on your body. Now, if you know the other tapping points that start at the top of the head and then go to the eyebrow and then go to the side of the eye, and there's one under the eye, then you've got the one under the nose. You've got, now you can do under the chin or on the chin, it's in the crease point. You can do it here on your collarbone, so you can do it flat-handed like I do, or you can do it with the fingertips, which I tend to do more when I'm in session with a client. And then there's the one that's under the arm. Never easy to reach under the arm. They're the points. So what you'll do is you will talk yourself through what has gone on while you're tapping through any of the points. If you miss a point, it doesn't matter. If you forget a point, it doesn't matter. You can't reach a point, it doesn't matter. Just reach and touch and tap on as many as you can. Now, you're not tapping rapidly. It doesn't need to be rapid. What it needs to be is a nice pace. Tapping while you're talking 5, 6 times on each point, and then you move to the next point. You're not tapping hard. You're not bruising your body. You're not using any aggression at all or any intensity to it. It is literally you're activating the energy circuitry of your body, which is quite delicate. Just imagine the acupuncture and acupressure points, same sort of stuff. So you don't want to be hammering your body, but you're just going to tap through the points as you talk yourself through what happened in the day, what the specific thing was, and just talk yourself through that. That's another way you can do it. Now, you can also have specific times that you do it. Maybe you do it every evening at 8 o'clock before you go to bed. Maybe it's one of your things you'd like to introduce every morning into your daily routine. Now, your daily routine doesn't need to be exactly the same either. You can decide that I'll do tapping Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll do something else Tuesday, Thursday, whatever it is. But if you get yourself into some sort of routine that you want to actually use it as a tool, as an ongoing thing, you can do that as well. So there's multiple ways you can introduce tapping as a daily practice into your routine. Now, how long should I tap for? It's one of the questions I get asked all the time. So how long should I do it for? I'm going to recommend on your own 10 minutes, which is a long time, is the longest that you should do it for. What I'm also going to recommend is you want to do, when you do it on your own, 1 issue at a time. So if you had my boss called me into the office today and I was triggered, and my mum said this and I got upset about that, and then the guy down the road, if you've got multiple things, stick to one thing. Stick to the thing that happened when your boss called you into the office. You got activated or triggered, whichever word you like. Your body sensations reacted. Go and tap on that. Now, if you're going to look at that as a specific, the intensity in that may have been say it's a 6 or a 7 when you come to do the tapping later in the day. You've got your specific time. When you get it down to a 0, you don't need to keep going for the 10 minutes. If it takes 3, 4, 5 minutes to bring it down to 0, that's that done. That's you done on that topic. Leave it be. I personally wouldn't reintroduce another topic then. I would let my body assimilate that. I would let my body come into alignment and settle with that. I have a belief that I like to think of our energy circuitry very much like a snow globe. Imagine a snow globe. I'm sure they're all over the world. People know what a snow globe is. It has a little design inside. It has a plastic or glass globe. It's got liquid inside with lots of things that looks like snow, and you turn it upside down or even up the right way. You shake it and all of the snow goes everywhere. Now, eventually, it all settles back down. It all lands back on the ground or on the surface, lower surface eventually. It just doesn't land how it was. I think of our energy circuitry very, very similar to that. And when we do the tapping, we are likening this to picking up a snow globe of our life and giving it a good hard shake. You need to take time for it to settle down and come back down to neutral. You've got to give your body that time because you're an energy body. You don't want to keep it always, always, always on the go like that. You don't want to. I know many people will do tapping and go, right, I'm so committed and I just want to move through everything. Don't do that to yourself. Give yourself the gift of time, of knowing. You clear the event from your body, you clear the intensity, you clear away that sensations that really gets triggered, and then you let your body settle back down. And then you might come again to another topic or another issue or another thing, like it might be then, yeah, that thing my mum said or that thing the guy down the road did. Break them up into segments. Don't just have it all higgledy-piggledy, because what will happen then is nothing will get cleared and nothing will get resolved, because EFT does its best work when we are specific and we are focused on one event, one memory, one thought. So that's the easiest way to do your tapping. Again, I also said it's 3 or 4, 5 times on each point, 6 or 7 at the most. Usually it's enough time to say a very short sentence, which would be, I'm really angry that I went to my boss's office. He really triggered me because I got very upset. I know this feels like when I was 6. Move to the next point. And I know that it feels like something that happened when I went to school. Move to the next point. And then that thing that happened when I was in the classroom. Move to the next point. Notice there's very short sentences. While I'm in each of the points, I'm just tapping the whole time. And then I move to the next point for the next sentence. Super, super easy. Would love your comments and your feedback on this. I love to share this to just get everybody into a daily practice of adding EFT as a tool and a modality that's just going to help to transform your life. So thank you for being here at the EFT Tapping Podcast. My name is Lorna Hollinger. I am from the Australian Tapping Institute, and I will see you again, or listen to you again, and hear you again, and join you again on the next show.